My name is Savannah Brooks, and I'm 28. The night my father threw my life onto the lawn. I had just finished a 12-hour shift helping keep a burned Labrador alive. I still smelled like antiseptic when I pulled into the driveway and saw my stuff scattered across the grass. My duffel bag split open. My scrubs tangled around a broken lamp. My winter coat half buried in the flower bed. And a box of childhood photos dumped upside down like trash. My dad, Richard, stood in the porch light with his phone held up. Recording me like humiliating his daughter was entertainment. My mom stayed behind him with her arms folded. My sister Tessa laughed and kicked one of my bins so hard it slid into the street. "You're 28. My father barked loud enough for the neighbors to hear. "You suck us dry like a vampire. You're gone tonight." Across the street, people pretended not to stare, but they didn't miss a second. I looked into his camera and smiled, because something in me went cold and clear. I didn't cry. I didn't beg. I loaded my things into my car like it was a job, then walked up to them and said quietly, "Hope you sleep good tonight, because one day none of you are going to sleep at all." Then I drove away. I parked behind a 24-hour gas station and listened to a voice memo. My phone caught while I was gathering my things. My father yelling. Tessa laughing. My mother saying, "Just let her go." "Richard, she brought this on herself." I replayed it until my jaw stopped shaking. Families like mine survive by making you doubt your own memory. That recording was my anchor. I spent the first night in an extended stay motel with flickering lights and 2 vending machine granola bars. And one hard rule. I was not going back. At 1:30 in the morning, my phone started exploding. Missed calls. Then texts. My father demanded my location. My mother said I was unstable. Tessa texted, "Lol, good luck paying for your own everything." I didn't answer. I screenshot the messages and saved the audio. Not because I wanted drama, but because I knew the next phase. They would rewrite the story and try to make me the villain. The next morning I called the only person I trusted to tell me the truth without softening it. Noah Carter, a paramedic I'd met at the animal ER. He didn't ask if I was okay first. He asked, "Tell me exactly what happened. Don't protect them." So I told him. Every detail. Then he asked, "If they call tonight crying, are you going back?" "No," I said. And I surprised myself with how fast it came out. "Good," he replied. "Stop treating this like a breakup you might fix. This is a fire you finally walked out of." That sentence flipped a switch in my head. Because the truth was, I wasn't just living at home. I was running that house. The errands. The bills. The passwords. The refill reminders. The scheduling. The stuff no one wants to admit they rely on. I was the invisible infrastructure. And they called me a burden because it made them feel powerful. So I stopped reacting and started building. I picked up extra shifts. I applied for the advanced surgical track I'd delayed for years. I found a cheap room above a retired mechanic's garage owned by a widow named Mrs. Delaney. No weird questions. Just rent on time and keep the noise down. Then I changed my emergency contact from my mother to Noah. One tap, and I felt my lungs expand like I'd been holding my breath for years. Within days, the texts from my family shifted. Not concern. Not apologies. Just inconvenience. My father asked where certain paperwork was. My mother wanted to know if I took anything important. Tessa asked for the login to the utility portal. That's when I understood something that made me laugh out loud in that motel room. They didn't miss me. They missed what I did. By the end of the week, I moved into Mrs. Delaney's garage apartment with 2 duffel bags, a folding chair, and a cheap mattress. It smelled like sawdust and old paint. It was perfect. That first night, I ate lo mein on the floor and listened to real silence. Not the loaded kind before an argument. Not the fake quiet after someone wins a fight. Real quiet. Then my phone buzzed again. My father said, "This stunt has gone far enough." Tessa said, "Dad's mad you didn't pay Mom's car insurance reminder and now there's a late fee." A late fee. From the people who threw my life into the grass. Days 6 through 10 were when they unraveled. Mrs. Delaney knocked with a casserole and said, "Your daddy was shouting in the driveway this morning. Loud enough for 3 houses. Then Noah called one night after his shift. Your dad was arguing with a cable guy, he said. He can't access the account. Not grief. Labor. On day 9. An old coworker texted me. Your dad showed people the video of him throwing your stuff out. Like it proved a point. It's backfired. Folks think it makes him look cruel. So he didn't just want me gone. He wanted applause for hurting me. That night, my phone hit 88 messages by 2:30 at night. Where are you? Answer now. This needs to stop. And then one message from Tessa that felt different. He can't sleep. I stared at it and remembered how steady my father looked under that porch light, recording me like a trophy. Men like him always think consequences are for other people. If you were me, would you go back to keep the peace? Or stay gone and let them figure it out? Comment go back or stay gone. The next morning, my supervisor, Dr. Elaine Mercer, pulled me aside. My surgical track application had been accepted, and the hospital would sponsor most of the cost if I committed to the year. I should have cried. Instead, I felt vindication so clean it almost scared me. The same week my father was losing sleep because I stopped carrying his household. I was stepping into the career he always implied I wasn't serious enough to deserve. That night I listened to the voicemails. My mother sounded panicked. Tessa sounded scared. My father sounded ragged. None of them sounded sorry. Then my father called again. 10 days after he threw my things onto the lawn. I was in the hospital break room. I hit record before I answered. What? I said. He didn't say hello. Where the hell are you? Don't get smart with me. Same entitlement. Like kicking me out was a parenting tactic and not a rupture. He ranted about my mother being stressed. Neighbors talking. Bills getting missed. And how selfish I was for disappearing. I let him go until he said the line I'll never forget. If you don't come home and help settle this, I'll make sure everybody knows what kind of daughter you are. I leaned back in that plastic chair and smiled. You mean tell people you threw your daughter's belongings onto the lawn while filming it? Silence. Go ahead, I said. Use the video. I'm sure it makes you look great. He tried to recover. Then I cut in. Calm. And just so you know, I recorded this call too. The dead air after that felt almost holy. He hung up. I saved the audio next to the lawn recording and went back to work. Because a collapsed husky doesn't care about my family drama. And that was the point. My life was finally mine. 2 nights later, my father showed up at Mrs. Delaney's place after sunset. He knocked hard like he still owned access to me. I opened the door with the chain on. Richard looked worse than I'd ever seen him. Not humbled. Just frayed. Red-eyed. Angry in that exhausted way people get when they lose control and don't know what to do with their hands. We need to talk, he said. We're talking now, I replied. He looked past me into my small apartment. The folding table. The boxes. Judgment tried to rise in him. But it didn't land the way it used to. Because this space was mine and I wasn't asking his permission to exist in it. Your mother's a wreck, he said. Tessa's crying every day. This has gone on long enough. You threw me out, I said. He twitched. I didn't think. That's the problem, I replied. You didn't think. You performed. Then he said the real truth. You're making me look like a monster. Not I'm sorry. Not I was wrong. Reputation. I laughed once. I'm not making you look like anything. You filmed it. Behind him. Mrs. Delaney's porch light clicked on. A curtain across the street moved. Someone was watching. Good. Leave, I said. Now. Before I play the recording of you threatening me for the whole block. He stared like he finally understood I wasn't his stage anymore. Then turned and walked back to his truck. A week later. Our hospital ran an animal rescue fundraiser in a park near my old neighborhood. Dr. Mercer asked me to represent the clinic. I almost said no. Then stopped myself. I was done shrinking. I showed up in clean navy scrubs with my new badge. I checked in fosters. Calmed nervous families. Helped a little kid pet a tripod mix for the first time. I felt proud in a way that had nothing to do with my family. Then I saw them across the field. My mother at a folding table. Tessa hovering. My father laughing too loudly. Performing normal. A neighbor recognized me. Savannah, I had no idea you worked emergency animal care. That's wonderful. Doctor. Mercer heard and said, loud enough for anyone nearby. She's one of our best techs. She's in the specialty track. I saw my father's smile drop. Public humiliation introduced me one way. Public competence introduced me another. Tessa approached. Eyes puffy. Can we talk? She whispered. You can talk, I said. She swallowed. Everything's been insane. He yells all the time now. Mom keeps crying. People keep asking questions. I looked at her. You kicked my certificates into the street. You laughed. Her eyes filled. I know. I didn't comfort her. I didn't punish her either. I just told the truth. You don't get to borrow me as a sister only when the house gets ugly. That ugliness was always there. I was just carrying it. My mother drifted closer. Tense. Glancing around like she wanted privacy now. Not here. She wanted to say. Not in public. The same public they used to break me. I said. You made it public. My father came up last. Slow. You look busy, he said. I am, I replied. He didn't know what script to use, because for once the audience wasn't on his side. So I gave him one sentence and let it sit. I'm not coming back. What happened after I left isn't something I did to you. It's what was already there when I stopped carrying it. That was the ending they deserved. Not a reunion. Not me collapsing into tears. Just me choosing my life in front of them while they finally understood they weren't the center of it anymore. That night, in my little apartment, I opened the lawn recording, listened for 5 seconds, and deleted it. Not because they deserved mercy, because I didn't need proof anymore. The consequences had already arrived. If you want more real stories like this, subscribe and turn on notifications. I've got another one coming that hits even harder.